Welcome back to Financial Markets, your must-watch show. It is me, Victor, back with Gloria to give us the rest of Africa and whatever is going on within financial markets globally. Gloria.
Yes, thank you, Victor, for inviting me here. Well, right now we have something going on the JSE, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and it is always a pleasure to discuss on the insights about its various equities and what's going on in there. As for now, as you know, the JSE has truly evolved over the years, offering investors a multitude of opportunities. It actually started back in 2003 when the JSE actually launched the alternative exchange known as the ALTEX, or the Growth Board, which is significantly designed for mid and small big-time listings.
Well, we've also got a lot to cover on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange. We're looking at nearly 200 listed equities participating in the trading day, and it was quite a busy day and really eventful within South Africa.
Exactly, actually a significant step towards this inclusivity, providing a platform for those various small companies to access public markets, which is a great avenue for growth and investment opportunities.
Indeed, Gloria. Actually, that's not all. In its quest to offer a diverse investment products, the Johannesburg Securities Exchange actually introduced the Yield X for interest rate and currency instruments. And these instruments play a really crucial role in managing risk and are very essential for the financial markets overall health.
Exactly, and as you all know, risk management is a key aspect in financial markets, and the availability of various instruments makes the JSE a top shop for both retail and institutional traders and investors. Well, let's dive into some specific things, Victor. Though we've got an extensive list of companies which all have a unique story.
Well, that's actually right, Gloria. And when we get onto the Johannesburg Securities Exchange, there is no shortage of options. And taking a closer look to a few of the notable listings from the day. First, we have the Foresights Holding Limited, or also known as the 4SI, which saw some trading activity, and its share price was at 0.44, and it's always interesting to see how small cap companies perform.
Exactly, Victor, and small cap companies actually often present growth opportunities for various investors.
They do.
Their share price and their trading volume can indicate market sentiment towards these various stocks. On the other hand, we have Absa Group Limited, or you could call it ABG, with a trading volume of around 420 and a share price of 169.20, reflecting a rise of 1.20.
Well, Absa is one of the well-established financial institutions, and its performance can often be seen as an indicator of the banking sector's health. But moving on to Asala and Maito SA Limited, which is also known as ACL, with a trading volume of 299,361, as well as a share price of 1.36. This was up by 0.02, and it's always actually interesting to see companies operating in the metals and mining sector perform on this securities exchange.
Exactly, and looking at the metals and mining sector, which could be quite volatile, especially the fluctuations in commodity prices, the performance of a company like, let me say, ArcelorMittal can be closely tied to various market dynamics. Now, let's talk about the company that goes by this name, Victor, which has a trading volume of around 54 and a share price of 5.06.
Well, Action is another interesting listing, and it's essential to consider the sector it operates in and its potential for growth. But then there is Afrocentric INV Corp Limited, also known as ACT, and it seems that we don't have the specific price and volume of that company now, but sometimes certain stocks might not see significant trading activity on a particular trading day. So it's all part of the EBB and the flow of financial markets. And there is actually ADV Tech Limited with a trading volume that is at 20.91.
Exactly, and AVD Tech operates in the educational sector, and educational stocks actually often draw attention from investors looking for long-term growth prospects. We also have AD Corp Holdings Limited that goes by the ticker symbol ADR with a trading volume, but it also seems not to have specific price data for this one either.
That's right, and we have a variety of listings to cover, and now taking a closer look to a few more companies. How about African Dawn Capital Limited, with a share price that stands at is it 0.06%?
Actually, African Dawn Capital is another small cap listing.
It is.
Often small cap listings often have a unique story behind them, and investors are looking for the potential high growth that might explore these stocks. But moving on to African Equity Limited with a share price of around 1.10.
This seems to be another stock where a specific trading volume is not available today.
Exactly.
But nevertheless, it's always important to conduct due diligence when considering an investment in any company. And now talking about the Avenge Group, Limited, which saw a trading volume of 69,668 and a share price of 5.89 with a slight decrease of around 0.21.
Exactly, and by the Avenge Group operates in the construction and engineering sector. This is a segment that can actually be influenced by various economic factors, including infrastructure development and government spending. But we're moving on to Altron and Allied Electronic Corporation with a trading volume of 5 and a share price of 8.09, which increased by actually 0.06.
Well, the technology sector is always worth watching, and companies like Altron are involved in providing electronic and technology solutions. And next we have AECI Limited, but it appears we don't have a specific trading data for this company as of today. And like we stated, sometimes these companies don't have any activity at all, but they remain on the market waiting on that one move that will take their prices high or low. But it is also important to consider a broader perspective on the base decisions solely on a single day's data. Moving on to AECI that actually saw a 5.5% preference shares, and which actually also doesn't have specific trading data available as of today.
Actually, preference shares often provide a stable income for investors, making them an alternative choice for those looking for consistent dividends. Now let's talk about Alexandra Forbes Group Holdings, Victor, where the specific trading data was also not available.
Well, Alexander Forbes operates in the financial services sector, and it is one of those companies that can be influenced by changes in the economic and regulatory environment. But moving on to Afrimat Limited, AFT, with no specific trading data as of today. Afrimat actually is a mining, it is a company within the mining sector, and the performance of mining companies is often tied to the prices of commodities they mine. And discussing the Anglo-African PLC that also saw a trading volume of 798 and had a share price of 480.20, marking a decrease of 1.60.
Anglo-America is actually also a major player in the mining industry. While a significant global presence, it always important to keep an eye out for commodity prices and global economic conditions when tracking the performances of mining companies. Now, having a look at AHVest Limited, also that it have a particular trading data, Victor.
Yes, but before we go any further within the Johannesburg Securities Exchange, wanted to shine some more light on Textron particularly, and taking a closer look at Textron Property Fund Limited. Limited. It is trading under the ticker symbol TEX on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange. And Texton is a Johannesburg Securities Exchange approved real estate investment trust, or REIT, right? And with a primary focus on long-term investments in quality rental generating properties, and these properties are maintained, upgraded, or refurbished to enhance long-term value.
Texton Properties portfolio actually is quite diverse if you're looking into it, because as of June 30th, 2017, it comprised of around 43 owned and managed properties in South Africa, industrial, office, and retail sectors, with a total revenue of around 3.4 billion rands. Additionally, it also held 11 owned and managed properties in the United Kingdom industrial, office, and retail sectors valued at around 2.1 billion rands.
Well, these properties even include a 50% shareholding in Inception, reading SARL, and which owns the Broad Street Mall in Reading, a secondary node in the United Kingdom. But this diverse portfolio across different sectors and geographies is actually a key aspect of Texton's investment strategy.
Texton is just not an property investment fund, though. It's internally asset managed, which means it takes an active role in managing its properties. Well, it's quite different from other external RITs, where third-party companies handle property management.
That's right. And actually, you see, Gloria, having internal management actually allows Texton to have a direct hand in maintaining, upgrading, and optimizing these properties. But it actually also gives them a greater control over their assets. And in turn, it also allows them to respond more flexibly to market conditions as and when they fall due.
Exactly. And in terms of numbers, Texton has a substantial portfolio with assets valued at around 5.4 billion rands. So the portfolio includes retail, office, industrial exposure in both South Africa and the United Kingdom.
Now, it also remains important to note that the board of Texton Property Fund has adopted a revised investment strategy, and the main objectives of this strategy are the rebalance and the fund, ensuring consistent property income streams and strong tenant covenants and portfolio optimization. It is actually quite an interesting and strategic move, but I think it's all about ensuring the portfolio is in the best possible shape to generate income and deliver value to shareholders as well. But we often see companies revising these strategies to adapt to changing market conditions.
Exactly, and Texton's intentions are quite clear. They're looking to pursue industrial opportunities with strong foundations, particularly in warehousing and logistics properties located in the main metroplan nodes.
But you see, this move actually aligns with the growing e-commerce and industry, and the increasing need for efficient warehousing and logistics. But it's a strategic choice to capitalize on these changing dynamics for sure.
Ultimately, Texton's commitment to achieve its highest positive returns from various stakeholders and shareholders by executing its mandate of achieving growth through various diversifications, Victor.
Diversification remains key. It remains key, and it is a really good movement strategy in the world of real estate. And this is by spreading investments across different sectors and geographies. But discussing Texton's stock performance as of Monday, October 30th, 2023, Tex closed at 2.59 South African rands per share, marking a significant 12.61% gain over its previous closing price of 2.30 rands.
That's actually a noteworthy increase, especially in the real estate sector, which tends to be more stable and income focused. So investors in Texton seem to have reacted positively to the recent various developments.
How about over the past 3 months, Gloria?
We're looking for the other past 3 months, Victor. That is from around August 1st to October 30th, 2023. Textron Property Fund has traded a total volume of around 2.01 million shares in around 137 deals, with a total revenue of 4.88 million rands.
Now, as you know, it remains important to note that the average number of traded shares per session was 31,967. So there has been a consistent level of trading activity in this stock.
Exactly, and the highest trading volume during this period was around 305,648 shares, which occurred on around August 2nd. So there is a particular day for high trading activity.
Indeed, and the performance of techs in the past year has been quite dynamic. It reported an 18.8% depreciation, and it was it's on its exact value. But in the last 3 months, it showed signs of recovery with a 3.6% gain.
Exactly, and it's uncommon for our real stocks to experience fluctuations. Actually, factors like changes in retail income, property values, and overall, could lead to that. But it's also important to consider a long-term perspective when investing in real estate. Stocks like Textron often consistent income when it comes to dividends.
Indeed, and actually, speaking of dividends, Textron Property Fund has a dividend yield of 7.34%. This means that shareholders can expect to receive a dividend payment equivalent to this percentage of their investment. But it remains an attractive feature for income-oriented investors, and particularly in a low interest rate environment. So dividends from REITs often provides a higher yield compared to many other investments.
Exactly, Victor. And in summary, Textron Property Fund Limited is listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol of TEX. It's a property investment fund with a significant and diversified portfolio. It has an internal management strategy that is committed to diversification and is repositioning its portfolio to optimize returns from its various shareholders.
But I wanted to highlight since we have discussed about Textron and come this far, don't you think it is actually worth looking into Brimstone as well?
Exactly, Victor. It's worth looking into Brimstone. Brimstone was actually part of the top losers as of yesterday's trading session. It came actually among the top losers as of yesterday. So it's not actually your typical investment company. They describe themselves as the black controlled and management holding company. That's an interesting way to discuss them, Victor.
Absolutely, and it's actually it's quite significant in South African context, and they are headquartered in the Republic of South Africa and have a substantial workforce of over 4,500 employees in their subsidiaries and more than 24,000 in their associates and companies in which they've invested.
That's quite a substantial operation, Victor. It reflects actually their commitment to empowerment and job creation. So it's not just about financial returns, but also about making a meaningful impact on the society.
So Brimstone's core objective is to achieve above average returns for their shareholders. And they do this by investing in health, creating businesses, and forming strategic alliances where they contribute capital, innovative ideas, making expertise, and impeccable empowerment credentials, and values-driven corporate identity.
It's definitely not about just making money. It's about creating value and positivity, impacting the community. So these kinds of companies often have a strong sense of purpose.
Indeed, and in terms of sectoral reach, Brimstone Investment Corporation has interests in various sectors, including food, financial services, healthcare, as well as infrastructure. So this kind of diversification can actually help them to mitigate all possible risks that could tap into a wide range of economic activity.
Exactly, Victor. And while financial returns are important, it's also about building a resilient portfolio that could however, come up with these economic fluctuations. So the ability to invest in multiple sectors provides that diversification.
Indeed, but looking at the performance of the stock market as of Monday, October 30th, 2023, Brimstone Investment Corp, trading under the ticker symbol BRT, closed at 3.05 rands per share on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
It's actually essential to mention that BRT also saw a significant drop, losing about 39% of its value compared to its previous closing price of around 5 rands. So shareholders might be concerned about this decline.
Yeah, actually, this year has been challenging for Brimstone, and it began with a share price of 5.26 rands, but since then it has lost 42% of its value, and this was ranking it the 363rd on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance. But Gloria, before we come back with more insights on Brimstone's corporation, we would like to go into a short break, and we'll be right back with more insights from the Johannesburg Securities Exchange, as well as Nigeria, and more financial news within Africa and the world at large. Stay tuned.
Smart